don't know about you, but a fella could do a lot worse than Constellation.
Hope my employees don't give you too much trouble.
If you are free soon, could we talk? Hello. Never would I have imagined to encounter something like these Starborn. Now I feel that rather than having answers, we only have more questions. Yes, by any meaning of the word. Regardless of how impossible they may have seemed before now, I must say that I do not like being threatened by anyone. I do not understand how seeking answers can be so dangerous. Clearly, these Starborn are connected to the artifacts, which would mean that they are also connected to that temple you found. Did they make these things? Have they appropriated them? This all implies there is something more, something we do not yet understand. You are right. And it would seem that if we do, we may well cross paths with these Starborn again. We will need to be on our guard from now on. They seem to know much about us. Perhaps we can learn more about them to make it even. We should return to our search then. There's still so much to do.
Evening, sir. selling art is a bit of an art itself, you know.
Oh, please, take a look. Thanks for coming in.
I am not a stalker. I am not trying to pester you, but I really do need that credit.
Problem? I think I got them. What do you...
Captain Richard, do you require my assistance?
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
You've arrived. Stroud-Eklund Star Yard is here to serve you.
Greetings, Captain.
I'm Walter Stroud. And
Not
on
much
behalf
going
of
on.
Stroud-Eklund,
Walter is quite proud of what his company has accomplished, and for good reason.
we are creating revolutionary new starships.
Everything's so new here.
If I were Tayo, I'd be very concerned about the new Stroud-Eklund models.
I came out of curiosity, but
Some of these specs. Impressive.
Demos?
But you know what? We haven't heard from Nev yet. Maybe she has some marketing insights.
Okay, but... what if... Sorry. Hear me out. What if we went for the family recreation demo instead? It's a much bigger market than Explorers, and no one else is doing it.
Oh, this must be Walter's consultant friend. Please, come join us. We've been waiting for you. Hello. Hi there. It might surprise you to hear that no, I have not. This is actually the first project I've led for Stroud Eklund. I recently graduated with a master's degree in engineering management. I'm actually kind of surprised they hired me, but I was at the top of my class, so maybe they didn't want to lose me to some other star yard. Anyway, I'm grateful for the chance to do good work here. You must be Walter's colleague. He informed me that you'd be taking charge of Project Kepler despite the fact that we have a fully dedicated R&D staff already assigned to it. But that's okay. I'm sure that even though you have virtually no experience with this, you'll do a great job. Great! That's great. Cool. Well, since we have no other choice, let's get to it, shall we?
Oof. That is not a good sign.
As you probably know, we're tasked with coming up with Stroud Eklund's next hit starship. But we have budget concerns, market research to finish, and we can't seem to agree on a design. So I guess Walter sent you to resolve these issues. Have at it. Sure. I'm Jules, R&D project lead. Was the one making all the big decisions. I suppose I just coordinate now. You already heard from Frank. He's lead designer on the project, focused on the look and feel of the ships. There's Ella, another senior designer. She focuses on some of the more technical designs of ships. Went to school with Frank. Mike is our senior engineer, responsible for consulting on all the technical bits, the machinery, the computer systems, etc. And then there's Nev. She's here for marketing. It's her job to weigh in and sell this thing to consumers. Okay, good. So, before we can do anything, we need to resolve the budget issue. We were charged with building the newest, hottest ship on the market, which won't be possible unless we petition the board for more money. So we have two new budget proposals. One will allow us to build what I consider to be a very sensible ship, but we'll have to make some tough design cuts. The other will allow us much more flexibility to put whatever we want into the ship. It's what I call the kitchen sink proposal. I don't love it, but it'll be next to impossible to approve. What should we go with? It's more that we can only choose certain design elements at the expense of others. In other words, if we go with something in Mike's design, there's not enough money in the budget for what Ella wants. That's one of the reasons we haven't been able to agree on anything. While it's true we'd be able to afford to put anything and everything into that design, it's just not practical, and the board will put more pressure on us to see that it succeeds. I worry that without constraints, my team will be disincentivized to focus this ship in any given direction. And they'll try to cram in everything but the kitchen sink, hence the name. Who knows what kind of monstrosity we'd create if we tried to incorporate all of our designs? And would something that expensive actually sell? Hi, still here? I was afraid you'd say that. Look, I'm the one who has to go to the board with this proposal, so before I can convince them this is going to be worth it, you're going to need to convince me. Well, I'm all ears because it's going to take a miracle to convince them. Well, there's always room for personal improvement, I suppose. I hadn't considered it that way. It gives us some wiggle room if we need to try some things, and if we come in way under budget, it'll look good. A smart leader knows when some ideas just aren't worth pursuing. Look, I know you... Oh, and I seem to have lost...
My business is switching to Stroud Eklund.
Walter is quite proud of what his company has accomplished, and for good reason.
Oh, this must be Walter's consultant friend. Please, come join us. We've been waiting for you. Hello. Hi there. It might surprise you. I recently graduated. I'm actually kind... You must be Walter. He informed me that you... But that's okay. I'm sure that even though you have... Great! That's great. Cool. Well, since we have no other choice, let's get to it, shall we?
Oof, that is not a good sign.
As you probably know, we're tasked with coming up with Stroud Eklund's next hit starship. But we have budget concerns, market research to finish, and we can't seem to agree on a design. So I guess Walter sent you to resolve these issues. Have at it. Sure. I'm Jules, R&D project lead. Was the one making all the big decisions. I suppose I just coordinate now. You already heard from Frank. He's lead designer on the project, focused on the look and feel of the ships. There's Ella, another senior designer. She focuses on some of the more technical designs of ships. Went to school with Frank. Mike is our senior engineer, responsible for consulting on all the technical bits, the machinery, the computer systems, etc. And then there's Nev. She's here for marketing. It's her job to weigh in and sell this thing to consumers. Okay, good. So, before we can do anything, we need to resolve the budget issue. We were charged with building the newest, hottest ship on the market, which won't be possible unless we petition the board for more money. So we have two new budget proposals. One will allow us to build what I consider to be a very sensible ship, but we'll have to make some tough design cuts. The other will allow us much more flexibility to put whatever we want into the ship. It's what I call the kitchen sink proposal. I don't love it, but it'll be next to impossible to approve. What should we go with? While it's true we'd be able to afford to put anything and everything into that design, it's just not practical, and the board will put more pressure on us to see that it succeeds. I worry that without constraints, my team will be disincentivized to focus this ship in any given direction, and they'll try to cram in everything but the kitchen sink, hence the name. Who knows what kind of monstrosity we'd create if we tried to incorporate all of our designs? And would something that expensive actually sell? It's more that we can only choose certain design elements at the expense of others. In other words, if we go with something in Mike's design, there's not enough money in the budget for what Ella wants. That's one of the reasons we haven't been able to agree on anything. I was afraid you'd say that. Look, I'm the one who has to go to the board with this proposal, so before I can convince them this is going to be worth it, you're going to need to convince me. Well, I'm all ears because it's going to take a miracle to convince them. I mean, you're not wrong. We've got to ask them for more money anyway. Might as well go big. I know how this works. If we have all those options, we're just going to eat up the entire budget using them all. Walter's only one board member. Look, I know you're... Oh, and I... We're all super glad you're here, right, everyone? Okay, but if... Oh, and I...
I can't decide which model to get.
Walter is quite proud of what his company has accomplished, and for good reason.
Everyone else will follow.
I understand. I'm all for new technologies, but your average consumer doesn't need that sort of maneuvering capability. And Mike is saying there are technical reasons your design won't work.
You're asking for technology that doesn't even exist, Frank. I'm good at what I do, but you're mental if you think I can pull off what you're asking. Tried and true is what we should focus on.
Tried and true is so dull, though. I like Frank's design, but maybe we could pivot it to more of a research vessel? Something suited for deep space exploration.
That's a great suggestion, but you know what? We haven't heard from Nev yet. Maybe she has some marketing insights.
Okay, but... What if... Sorry, hear me out. What if we went for the family recreation demo instead? It's a much bigger market than Explorers, and no one else is doing it.
Oh, seriously?
That's a little different than I think we were all expecting, but a really good point.
I also worry that would limit us creatively.
Hey, back up. Nev's got a point. It's something we could easily build. And I'm sure the number crunchers could make it turn a tidy profit.
Thank you.
But I do think a solid, no-frills ship with a large cargo capacity would be even more practical and doable, given our time frame.
Look, everyone, we need to come together if we're to succeed. Let's change direction and do a little thought exercise. Oh, this must be Walter's consultant friend. Please, come join us. We've been waiting for you. Hello. Hi there. You must be Walter. He informed me that you'd be taking charge, but that's okay. I'm sure that even though... Yes, of course. I'm sure Walter had a...
Wow. Was not expecting that.
As you probably know, we're tasked with coming up with Stroud Eklund, but we have... Okay, good. So, before we were charged with build... So we have two. The other will allow... I was afraid you'd say... Look, I'm the one... Well, I'm all ears because it's going to take a miracle to convince them. No offense, but... And how many of those... Look, I know you're... Oh, And I seem... Look, everyone, we need to come together if we're to succeed. Let's change direction and do a little thought exercise. Oh, this must be Walter's consultant friend. Please, come join us. We've been waiting for you. Hi, hello. You must be Walter. He informed me, but that's okay. Yes, of course.
Wow.
As you probably know, but we have budget. Okay, good. We were charged with... So we have two. The other will allow... I was afraid you'd say that. Look, Well, I'm all ears because it's going to take a miracle to convince them. No, it's not that simple. I mean, you're not... Maybe listening to you could prove to the higher-ups that I'm more capable than they think. Okay, I think you made some good points. I'll go to the board with the kitchen sink proposal and get that approved.
Well, Jules, it seems you have your work cut out for you.
Great, that's one problem solved. I'll go forward with that budget proposal and we can move on. Next, we need to gather some market data. The best way to do this is to outfit your ship with some sensors and take it through some real-world scenarios so we can make more informed design decisions. Great! Just pick up a mission or two at the mission board and proceed like you normally would. We'll collect the data when you return. If you take on a variety of missions, we can build a ship to handle a variety of scenarios. But if you just fly one mission, we can build a more focused ship. It's up to you. In the meantime, you might also want to talk with the team, get to know them, give feedback on their proposals, etc. Good luck out there.
So, you're Walter's friend. I know he chose you to head this project as some sort of favor? Honestly, as senior technical designer, I was hoping to receive that honor, but, there's always next time. Regardless, I'm excited to help you out. Do you have any experience building spaceships? I commend your honesty, but maybe we can still succeed if you... Now, I know you've been asked to give feedback on our design proposals. Would you care for a brief synopsis of mine? I'm the most senior designer on this project, for one. Despite all the acclaim he gets, I actually referred Frank to his current design position. He and I were in the same design program when we went to get our degrees back in uni. We support each other as friends as much as possible. Even when we disagree. I love my job here. But I dream one day of working for a small startup or running my own design firm so I can work on custom ships instead of mass-produced products. Of course. But first, let me ask you this. What pilot demographic is currently being underserved by the current starship market? Well, you're no fun. My idea is a little less conventional. I believe we should invest in making a dedicated exploration ship, marketed toward citizen scientists. Sure, we and other manufacturers have lines of exploration ships, but none built with the average consumer in mind. It's my hope that we can jumpstart a new era of affordable, accessible space exploration, fueled by ordinary people like you and me. Thanks. Let me tell you, we would not regret going with my idea. This is a chance to do something that will truly inspire future generations. Why do I feel like answering this could be a trap coming from someone who was sent here by Walter to step... It's not like I have anything to hide. I used to think working for a super wealthy corporation would be terrible, but honestly, it's pretty great. They've been good to me, and the stability is way better than any startup. I've had opportunities I wouldn't have anywhere else, so yeah, pretty great. Well, as a senior designer, I'm trusted to work on some pretty important features on these ships. Most of my work is on the technical features, designing them to be more user-friendly. Computer systems like navigation, targeting, you name it. It may not be as glamorous as what Frank does, but without me, these ships would be almost impossible for the average consumer to actually use. Okay, yeah. Bye.
That data from your ship is going to be critical to our design process. Assuming you can handle the missions.
I'm wondering if we need another chef in the kitchen. Then again, I hear Walter brought you in to finally make a decision around here. Good. Just so long as you don't push us to make anything too nutty. I think your decisiveness will put us back on the right track. Speaking of which, I think my plan will get us where we need to be as quickly and efficiently as possible. It's simple, no frills, and most importantly, won't cause me any major headaches on the engineering side. It's truth, and we need it. The others believe we need to think big and innovate. Reality is, we just need to do what we do better than anyone else. So I'm thinking, there's loads of fighters. No sense in mucking about with that again. And we've already got one of the best luxury liners in the biz. What I figure is, the cargo running business is booming, and no one's quite built a personal craft like that to serve the working class folk. Nothing fancy, no frills. Just a simple, sturdy, inexpensive ship with cargo room up the wazoo and make it so easy my cousin's little moppet could fly it. Wait, really? I was expecting we'd have to argue a bit more than that. Well, that's a relief. I hope you're being sincere. Because if I can convince them to go with mine, it'd save us all a lot of trouble in the end. Later, mate.
I'm actually kind of amazed we finalized the budget. That was relatively painless.
Hi. Need something? Oh, no. Well, it's just... I'm a little new here, and everyone's got these big, flashy designs. And I'm supposed to come up with one too, but like, I don't know if it's as good or like, good at all, even. Thank you for saying that, but like, really? I don't know. Whatever. Here goes. So, I was thinking that we could really use a recreational craft in our fleet. But not like super luxurious like our Adonis pleasure yacht, something marketed more towards families. Something Mom and Dad could pack up and take the kids on vacation. You probably think that's stupid, right? Oh, really? Wow, I am... Thank you! I am really glad I told you about it. Well, if we end up making it, I swear I'll work up a hell of an ad campaign for it. Take care, okay?
You know, I have designed spacecraft for over 10 years. So, you must have really impressed Walter for him to give you this project. Or maybe it's a bit of nepotism. Never mind that. Perhaps he sees in you what he sees in me. Ah, yes. At least you may be more open to my ideas than my colleagues. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Imagine a luxury craft designed for the most discerning of tastes. Every feature designed for comfort and peace of mind. High-end performance, precision engineering, a spacecraft for those who wish to be seen. This will be the most elite personal craft on the market. I'm glad you agree. Such an ostentatious luxury craft will be the envy of everyone in the settled systems. Later.
Well, we're making progress now, I guess. This is going great. Just fantastic. Oh, yes, I actually do have a proposal. I wasn't really expecting you to give me feedback, but why not, I guess. I'd like to see us branch out a bit more in the starfighter market. Bounty hunting and mercenary work are both big these days, especially among the hard-blooded free stars. Wonderful. Thank you. I'm hoping when the time comes, I'll be able to convince the others that's what we should go with. Ah, we'll talk later then.
You have a good day.
jumps always tie my stomach.
Contraband. You're good to go. Oh, have a nice time in Aquila City. All customers are welcome to enjoy our amenities.
How can I be of service, Captain?
Welcome to Trident Luxury Lines. Trident.
Welcome to Trident.
Where you can travel the stars with all the amenities.
entered Freestar Collective space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband. Scan complete. Go ahead and land. For coming over this emergency channel, but we are in need of assistance concerning the large ship in orbit, and we value discretion in this matter. If you are willing and able, please see me as soon as possible at the main security office in Paradiso. Over and out.
I just had to see the newcomer. See if you live up to the hype. We can talk if you like. I am a busy lady. So rare that someone new comes along. From the sidelines, it's a real treat to see everyone scrambling. It's very profitable as well. Oh, this whole thing? I suppose it did cost a few fortunes. But it is nice to travel with a modicum of style. It's not yet time. I don't even know if it will ever be. But hope and my pocketbook springs eternal. I really can't say, as much as I'd like to. It may mean nothing, but I'm rooting for you. Please, just be careful. Very careful. I hope to see you at a much later date.
Watch for corners or hiding spots. They know this ship better than we do. Nothing there.
Get down!
Once again, we are triumphant. worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets.
Come then. Meet your death.
Abilities are truly amazing. Hey, be careful not to point that thing at me. I think you may be trying to take a little too much on. Literally. not saying the Red Mile is not a challenge, but I have seen much, much worse.
Play by the house rules, or you'll find yourself on the other side of an airlock without a helmet.
This is all a bit more legal now, I suppose, but hardly more civilized.
Bullshit. You didn't think we'd notice that you tried to slip away without paying your check?
I was just going out for some fresh air. I even told the bartender. You can ask her yourself.
Fresh air, huh? On a planet with no atmosphere.
That's enough, Stalker. Lower your weapon. We don't shoot guests over a misunderstanding. Sir, please return to your table. It's bad practice to leave our establishment without paying your bill first. If you need some fresh air, pay up, go outside, and come back in and start a new check when you're ready.
I'm sorry, but I didn't think it would be a problem.
You were wrong. Dead wrong.
That's enough. I think the gentleman understands. Now let's all go back inside, shall we? And Stalker, you and I are going to talk about this later.
I can't wait. Stay in line, and we won't have a problem.
I don't make chit-chat with people.
You want a drink? Maybe a room for the night? Hi, welcome to Red Mile. We've got clean rooms and neat drinks. Can I help you out with either of those? Or both? Ooh, what about both? Aside from the restaurant and hotel services, we offer full-service starship maintenance and refueling. Just speak to our starport master, Lon Anderson. And don't mind him. He may be a lazy old fart, but when push comes to shove, he gets the job done. Cool. What will you be having? Enjoy yourself.
If you fancy yourself a Red Mile runner, just speak to me.
Hello.
any adventure you can fly away from. Is that how the saying goes?
Don't worry about us. We're just here to keep the peace.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Sukiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with? Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of a predicament. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so? Great. I appreciate it. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared in Parima space. It is now locked in orbit around our planet. So far, it doesn't seem to be hostile, but any attempts to communicate with it have been in vain, so we're unsure of the ship's intentions. It bears no discernible markings or allegiances to any manufacturers we're aware of. I'm hoping that doesn't mean we're dealing with some sort of new deep space threat. Not quite. It took some time, but we received a transmission. It was all, pardon the phrasing, it sounded almost alien, like nothing anyone's heard before. Clicks, distorted groans, buzzing, really disturbing sounds. Now, one of our engineers says it could just be some busted comm equipment or incompatible signals, but we're not sure. So far, no one's disembarked from the ship. No landing craft, nothing. We don't have the staff or ships to spare, otherwise we'd dock with it and attempt to board. Can't say for sure, Looks worn, but not cobbled together like a Crimson Fleet junker. Others have been saying it's some new Varun design, a gigantic battleship with hidden armaments preparing for assault, but that doesn't check out either. There's also been talk about non-human sentient life. The comms data we received might support that, but humanity's spread far and wide and no one's ever encountered anything like that. Still, first contact. Could you imagine? It is. Whatever's going on, we need to approach this with care. First, see if you have more luck communicating with them. If not, you may have to try boarding. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who or whatever's on board. As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of Paradiso. All formal decisions will need to go through him, and he'll have your pay. Good luck.
Captain Richard, greetings.
I find the interior of this ship comforting.
Captain Richard, hello. I am satisfied to see that you
Remain calm. There's no reason to suspect you're human. It's just that we weren't expecting to find life, let alone human life out here. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
You thought you were the only ones? I am afraid you have been unaware of a great many things.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
You've come aboard the Earth colony ship, Constant. Generations ago, we set forth from the planet Earth with the mission of colonizing a new habitable world, in the spirit of our ancestors nearly a millennium ago. I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others. We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did. Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am. For security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth colony ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction-level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened.
Careful
So,
waving that
he gathered
fancy
the best
gun
and
around.
brightest he could
You
find,
don't need to see
built the
what
Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you can believe, entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on out.
We've got strict rules around here. They're strict for a reason.
So, here we are. Let's talk. No matter the outcome, I won't let my crew down. I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along, instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly. A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually. difficult is the wrong word. It can be both challenging at times and also exciting. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world, believing that we were Earth's last hope. To think that while there has always been a Brackenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our journey's end is truly exhilarating. But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment, I fear tough choices will need to be made. Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you? Ah, so they have a name. Paradiso. And it sounds promising that they sent you here to speak with us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us. Based on the data our ancestors had when they launched this endeavor, it was determined that this was the perfect planet for us. Even if we had another viable candidate planet, we lack the resources to get there. And as you know, it took us 200 years to get here. Our people have no desire to go back to drifting the stars so their children's children can possibly settle on an inferior planet. Yes, of course. But we need to start from a firm position and state our goal. If need be, we can compromise, work out a mutually beneficial deal or some such, but initially I'd like you to be firm with them and convince them to leave the planet to us. Let me know how they respond, and we'll go from there. We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to think about the distant future of our people. Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this world. Now, it makes little sense to give up before you try. Thank you, and good luck.
I am both shocked and impressed that all of this is still functional.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Hey, if you ever want some piloting tips, I'm your chica.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Quite a heritage. To have brought this ship so far over such a long time. Worthy of the pride these portraits show.
Oh, shh. I think that's the visitor over there.
I think you're right. Should we go say something?
Yeah. Wait, no. I have no idea what to say. I am so embarrassed.
Never seen a ship like yours before.
I'm sure.
Then again, I haven't seen it.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
Wonder what else is out there.
I wonder what it's like out there. In our little
Just stay out of trouble. Just because our equipment's old
Just
We're back in our own ship.
Hello, and welcome back, Mr. Tofik. I am aware that this is your 8th visit to our resort. Your repeat patronage is much appreciated. Is there any assistance I may offer you today?
Actually, the question. Usually, when I come here, the shuttle takes a certain route. Show me that you tell this one.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks.
I can see why this location was chosen for a resort. Very nice.
I'm not much of a beach person, but everyone talks about this place, so I had to see for myself.
I cannot recall ever having the time, let alone the funds, for a vacation someplace like this.
Please, let the concierge know if you need any—
Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you have an appointment? Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. Do you need anything else from me before you meet with the board? What I could tell you would get me in a lot of trouble. Most of them are typical C-level execs. I doubt you even need to use your imagination for that. The ones that show up to work day to day, at least. I swear, I've never even met some of them, because they chill at their own private, secluded beach homes all the time. Anyway, be smart around Oliver. He's got a way of getting what he wants without you realizing it. And that's all I'll say. People were a little freaked out around here, understandably. It looks so different and it's so massive. We honestly thought we were under attack by an unknown entity. But then, nothing happened. It just stayed there. No one could communicate with it. And we've been very careful not to alert the resort guests. The board believed it would be bad for business. I can't speak for anyone else, but I've got a pretty high-pressure job working as the executive assistant to the Paradiso board. You can imagine, dealing with a team of execs, trying to manage all of their schedules and their other whims. But it pays well, and they give me a nice executive suite at the hotel to live in, so it's not all bad. Free access to all the resort's amenities after work helps too. Sure. Have fun in the Shark Tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
Hope you're staying safe out there.
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Belom's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront at a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that will cost us and we can circle back around to this.
With a name like Paradiso, the marketing for this place
I didn't realize
writes
TV was
itself.
letting people in here. I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm gonna cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there, causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens! We're being direct then. Good on you. So, what do you know about this dodgy ship I'm hearing all about? Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here, temporarily, but it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do. We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they might come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance. Well, absurd or not, that's our official stance. I make the decisions that are best for our entire group. You don't. Oh, I didn't say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for room and board in exchange for services rendered. Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff. It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation: you. I'm not suggesting anything, other than it would make our lives so much easier if that ship ceased existing. Make of that what you will. And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain? They'd be hard-pressed to defend that claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Freestar Collective, per the Centaurus Proclamation. We may be outside the settled systems, but that charter's official as can be. I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that good on you. You want to see a man named Benny St. James over at Hope Tech. He's the best in the business. If anyone can retrofit a 200-year-old ship with a modern grav drive, it'd be him. We'll coordinate our engineering team with his when you return, though you may have to help the Constance engineers prepare for it on their end. Good luck!
They deserve a renewed chance to decide their own fates. That is the right thing to do.
Right. On behalf of the Paradiso Group, we appreciate your help.
I will not... Things to discuss.
Help! I'm being attacked!
No major incidents in a while. Let's hope it stays that way.
Welcome to Paradiso.
You'd think we'd be a prime target for pirates, but they know to stay away for the most part.
Good day, Captain.
To be taking off immediately, or are there other matters that require your attention? Is something amiss? I am happy to help shoulder the load. Ah, yes, we are done.